My name is Luke, and this is my modded survival gameplay. Now the mods I'm using are conquest, companion improvements that would double all the resources I get from objects.
Good morning, sir.
You have been pre-selected for entrance into the local vault.
Everything was going fine until the bombs started dropping in nearby cities, so we had to get to the vault. I started running, and then the bombs dropped.
Oh my God!
Time for a whole new life.
And then my wife got killed and my son got kidnapped. I started fighting my way through rat roaches to escape the vault and filling up purified water. And then I finally got out of the vault. When I got out, everything was destroyed. I also added a mod that adds extra rooms around the Commonwealth. And then I got back to Sanctuary.
As I live and breathe.
I told Codsworth about everything that happened, so we decided to look for Sean together. They got to me first, so I had to retry.
Thanks for your help, Codsworth.
Good luck, sir.
The sanctuary was messy. I had to clean it up. So I started scraping literally everything I could find in the sanctuary, adding a ton of wood and steel. I just wanted to collect all of it, and then I added some beds, decoration in my old room, and some storage area I could store different things in. I went in the basement and collected all the valuables, added a water purifier. I then got the gun nut perk because I wanted to make some more powerful guns. At first I wanted to make like a stairway and add some generators on top of this roof, but then I realized it was really loud. Didn't want to do that, so I stored the generators and put them somewhere else, kind of near this house. And I also added a big water pump and a water purifier. Added power to the water purifier and added some defense. I was able to make more defense because of the gun nut perk. I gated up the sanctuary to make it a little more protected. I wanted to organize the crops a little more. I wanted one area for melon and one area for gourd, so I could divide them better and know where they were. I also added some beds because there would be people coming in soon. It was time to go to Red Rocket. I met the dog and we greeted each other. I had to fight my way through mole rats. And once I did that, there was this other basement that I could get more supplies in, part of a mod, and I was able to find some really useful things. Not only was I able to find bottle caps, but I also found a fusion core. It was time to scrape everything at Red Rocket because there was a lot of good supplies I could use, like circuitry and whatnot. So I started scraping everything I could find. All the trees, all the rubber. Then I found some gourd growing next to Red Rocket, and I decided to plant it right in Sanctuary because we needed a little more crops. After that, I added some more purified water. Added the little safe so I could store all my gold bars and especially pre-war money. I didn't want it to be scraped for... I started adding a platform on top of the roof, just to add a little more space for people to hang out in. But it was kind of hard. I had to make it just right. I had to restore and reorganize. And then I added a stairway going to it. Added some walls and a roof. And now, we have a nice second story for this house, and I actually think it looks pretty badass. And I started going down to Concord to save the Minutemen, and we had to fight our way through raiders.
The raiders are almost through the door. Grab that laser musket and help us, please.
It was time to go inside the Museum of Freedom. It was a little hard at first. They kept killing me, and then they killed me again. And then I eventually killed him. Working my way through the Museum of Freedom, I got the fusion core inside of the locked area, killed more raiders. I think these guys got to me. Yeah. And then I tried again and killed him. Thank you, Dogmeat. And we kept going, and then I met Preston Garvey.
Man, I don't know who you are, but your timing's impeccable.
Preston opened up about a problem about raiders that were attacking him and his settlers. So, we needed to get the power armor and minigun.
Minigun. Now we're talking.
In order to kill all the raiders and protect them.
Actually, I already grabbed the fusion core.
So I got into the power armor and started fighting the raiders.
Up here. Still waiting, asshole!
And then the death clock came out. I threw some grenades at it, didn't do too much damage, started using my minigun on it, and then it almost got me. It was wiping out people, and then I had to use that so it would kill me. I got his arm, and I was able to kill it. And then I wiped out all the raiders.
That was a pretty amazing display.
Preston and I decided to settle in Sanctuary, and I found information where my son is, and yes, I have a quick save mod.
Sun's energy. He's alive. Diamond City. The biggest settlement around.
And we all pressed on to Sanctuary, together, walking towards what would be our new home. I took the power armor because I wanted to repair it at Sanctuary.
I do hope you were able to find some assistance in Concord.
I talked to Codsworth and we decided to travel together. Then I went over to Preston Garvey and he opened up about a settlement that I could help with.
Do you think you could go help out with the settlement?
I added a doghouse for Dogmeat. I repaired my power armor, making it look a lot nicer. And then I wanted to get the winter coating, which helps with energy resistance. Started adding a little shack for people to chill in because I felt like it wasn't really decorated enough. I added a roof and a pool table just for funsies. I added some decoration to the house and some places for people to chill at. So let's do a recap. We got our power source right here, leading down to my water purifier. We also got a nice defense right in front of the bridge of Sanctuary. We also got a nice chill space for all the settlers to hang out in. I wanted to go to Red Rocket Truck Stop and add beds and water pumps. And then I wanted to add a defense area just to make Sanctuary more protected. I added stairs going up to the top of the gas station so we could add something on top of that later. I added a fenced off area with gourd inside it just for the settlers when they come. And then I made a radio recruitment beacon at Sanctuary. I added some power at Red Rocket and powered up a radio recruitment beacon there. So now Red Rocket's looking a lot nicer. A little bland. We have a nice defense area, protecting Sanctuary over there. So I decided to add a nice house on top of Red Rocket, just for people to have a little more area to. So I added a 2-story house on top of Red Rocket so we could add more settler room. And that's what it looked like. I think it looks pretty cool actually. It was time to go to 10 Pines Bluff to help them with their problems. They told us about a raider gang.
We're rebuilding the Minutemen from the ground up.
So we decided to go together to kill them.
Don't worry. I'll take care of those raiders for you.
Thanks, friend.
Wait, this guy's a synth, and he's gonna kill me and replace me and my family.
Let's all just calm down. No one has to die.
One of them was a synth. I didn't know quite which one it was, but they started fighting each other.
Hey there.
You saved me from a whole heap of trouble when I got back to HQ.
And we managed to kill the bad synth dude.
Now I just have to dig 2 graves. Oh,
we did it! But I got crippled.
thank you. Again.
Is crippled an okay thing to say now? I feel like that's a little Anyways, I started sniping people, and I started sniping the ones kind of on top of I kind of started sniping the raiders on top of the Cordova assembly plant, just to clear it out a little more. And this sniper rifle worked really well. I worked my way through the area, trying to get my way to the boss raider to kill him. We start working our way through the raiders.
Nothing like a little dust up.
And then I totally sniped the bad guy from a distance. Piece of cake. We did it. And on the way out, I realized there was a tunnel I could escape through that was a little more discreet. I didn't even realize that was there until today. And it let me out in Lexington, where I continued to move.
You find those rigs?
Yeah, I took care of them.
No kidding.
After Ten Pines Bluff joined the Minutemen, I started scraping everything in their settlement, just so I could build more. I added a radio recruitment beacon to add more settlers, and a medium generator. I also added a heavy machine gun turret, and with this mod, I was able to rebuild this house with the same kind of materials. This mod was called Snappy House Kit, and I was able to make a nice looking house and rebuild that broken house. And then I set up the radio recruitment beacon, added a little more water, then I started getting attacked by synths. And I barely survived. But then, with the Conquest mod, I decided to make a settlement in Concord. And I decided to call it Noland Outpost. I started covering up the broken flooring. I added a settlement recruitment beacon after that, and a generator, and a heavy machine gun turret. I also need to add a water pump. I also added a crop plot area so I could grow crops. I took some crops from Red Rocket and placed them back at Noland Outpost. Then I added some beds at Noland Outpost for the settlers.
You know that settlement you sent me to help? They've decided to join the Minutemen.
I told Preston about the settlement I helped, and he opened up about his problem with the Quincy massacre.
A mercenary group called the Gunners was attacking Quincy. The people there called for the Minutemen to help. We were the only ones that came. The other groups, they just turned their backs.
He then wanted me to help rebuild the Minutemen because he felt like I could do it.
I can't rebuild the Minutemen, but I think you can.
Mr. Garvey is quite right, sir. If anyone can unite the people, it's you.
What makes you think I can do this?
And then he eventually convinced me.
Okay, I'll do it.
That's the spirit, sir, and one giant step in the right direction for the Commonwealth.
Quincy is here at the bottom of the map. That's the settlement that got taken over by the Gunners. And that's the settlement that Preston and his gang escaped from. We are now at the top of the map where Sanctuary is, and we're rebuilding the Minutemen slowly.